Okay, to just give you a wee quick overview of how Nearpod works. If you go to nearpod.com and you create a username, you should be able to use your Glow login as your username. If you've got access to Microsoft, then it's all free, and you can do quite a lot with just a free account. So this is what your home page looks like. So it's quite good. You can organise your lessons into different folders. So I've got a folder for all my classes. If you want to just create a lesson, then you're just going to go to create and then lessons. And then you're going to see something that looks like this. So you can give your lesson a title. So the example that I was going to do today was basically kind of like a intro, rainforest, a National 5 rainforest introduction. And then it means that when you look at it on your homepage that it's got a title. You can add individual slides. So either whether it's going to be content, if you just wanted to add blank slides, then you could just add a blank slide, but it's quite basic. And we have all our PowerPoints all made up, so the easiest way to adapt the PowerPoints, and it's really quick, is to just find the file and then drag it in. And then it will just load up the original PowerPoint, and you might want to delete some slides, you might want to add in some new slides as well. So once your slides have loaded, it only took a couple minutes for me, I just paused the recording, then all your slides have gone in. And obviously there might be some tasks that you want to adapt, there might be some things that you want to add. What I was doing is just to, because they can catch up with this later, if there was anything that I wanted them to copy down, I was just putting a wee like pencil icon on the PowerPoint before I uploaded it. So you can't change these slides once they are uploaded, you can't edit them. But I'll just show you some of the tasks that you can add in, which are quite good. So the first thing, you've got this lesson starter, so in your jotter write down the 6 things you should mention when describing a climate graph. So obviously the kids can't do that when you're doing a live lesson, but there's the possibility of adding a task where they can answer that and you can see them answering it. So if you go to add slide, like I said, this is all the content, so this is just things that the kids would be able to use, but you can go to this section where it says activities. So there's lots of different activities, whether it's a quiz, a board, a poll, etc. You can even ask them to draw diagrams or images. I think for that starter, maybe something like a collaboration board might be good. I've been starting a lot of my lessons with what's called a collaboration board, just to get them kind of started and thinking. So the question that we had was, what 6 things, or we could just say what do we mention when describing a climate graph? You don't really need to enter a description, and then you can change different themes. And then if you just save that, then what that's going to allow is for the pupils to be able to just add their ideas onto that. But I'm going to show you later what it looks like for the pupils, and then every time you add a slide it goes down to the bottom, so you just want to drag it up, and then you don't need that anymore, so you can just delete that slide. You might want to leave slides in, so you might want to leave that slide in, and when you're doing your presentation you just talk over it. If I've not been doing this, but if you wanted to add in audio, I think you can add audio maybe to your slides, but I've not really been using that. I don't know how that would work. So you've also got options. So there's another task. It says match up the following descriptions with each layer. So that's something that you can also adapt so that they can do that on Nearpoint. So you might want to go to add slide, back into activities, and then you might want to do a match and pair. So because you've got this already in your PowerPoint, it's going to be really easy for you to make. It won't take any time at all. Let me just open up that PowerPoint. That's already there. So the match and pair task, you might just want to match up the forest layer with the correct information. I'm not sure if that's the right thing that you're supposed to write, but I'm just doing it quickly. And then you're going to want to add a pair, so you can just copy and paste your information in like that. Or you could do a picture if you wanted to just have like a picture of maybe like a diagram of the forest layers, or if you were doing it for like the glaciation topic, you could have a picture of a quarry and then a description of what a quarry is, and then they would be matching up a picture with the text. So you can do that lots of different ways. Add another pair and so on, and you can do as many pairs as you want. I'll just do that many and then just save it. And then just put it in the right place, and you're probably going to want to delete that slide as well. Another thing that you can do is that if you've got any videos within your PowerPoints, for example that slide there I think has got a video clip, so if we look at that on here, then you've got a BBC bite-size video. I don't think that's going to work. We'd want to be maybe looking for YouTube videos, but what we can do is we could go into add a video, and then if you go to YouTube, and on YouTube, if it's a video on rainforest layers, I don't know if that's going to be the right thing, but you would just go in, copy the link, go back to Nearpod and paste the link in there. You can search for the video on there as well, but I just like to find it and then find the link, click it and save it. Then now that video is going to be embedded in your Nearpod as well. But the really cool thing about adding videos is that you can add activities to the videos, so just to keep them engaged, just to make sure that they're paying attention. I'll play the video through, and then when it gets to a point where it maybe mentions something that I think that they need to know, I'll do add an activity. You can do a multiple choice question or an open-ended question. So you might want to put questions such as how many layers does the rainforest have, and there's a setting where they won't be able to move on, they can't play the video until they've answered that question. You might want to do a multiple choice question as well. Which of these is found in the main canopy? And then you might just want to do different multiple choice questions and then save it, and you can move on. And that way, when you set this, so like you'll be looking at it when the kids are doing it, there's a way where you can play it for them. But what I do is, if the video, that one's about 5.5 minutes long, you can do it at pupil pace. So I'll say, right, okay, there's 2 questions, it's 5 minutes long, you can go away, I'm going to give you 6 minutes to go watch the video and answer the questions and come back to me. So just save that, and then that's that done. And same again, you just want to put it to where it's supposed to be. There. A lot of the slides, if it's a video, then you don't really need the slide before. Another cool thing that I was using with my National 5 class was this VR field trip option. It's really cool. For rainforests it would be really good, because you can just type in rainforest, or if you were doing the desert, if you were doing the tundra, there's loads of things that you could do. For my first year class for the favelas, you can go into the favelas in Brazil to show them, and you might just want to go down till you find one that kind of suits what your lesson's on. So you might be talking about the different layers of the rainforest. You might want to click that one. You can preview that. Sorry, I've just skipped straight through the preview. But I'll click on it so that you can see it. Preview. So what this is what the kids would be seeing. So when you're teaching the lesson, if you're moving your screen, so if, for example, if I was teaching the lesson and I was doing this and saying, oh, look up there where the main canopy is, or down on the forest floor, they actually won't be able to see that. They're moving theirs independently. So I was just trying to guide them and say, okay, just look around, what do you see, and then maybe do a question afterwards. But you could do it for anything. It's basically just virtual reality where they're going to be engaged. It's going to give them an idea of what they're doing. I'll just add another few things to show you some of these features. So there's, for example, in this PowerPoint, there's some stuff on plant adaptations. So you could do you could add a slide and you can maybe do a draw it so that we can see what that looks like. I just did that with my class for the first time, and I didn't plan on doing it, but we had 10 minutes before the end, and it gives you the option to just do like a random activity. I don't know why that's not working. Sorry, my hotspot just disconnected, so I got kicked out of the internet. But I was going to show you, if you do maybe a draw activity, you could say draw a plant from the rainforest and label it with you might want to put images in to prompt them. You can even add PDFs and things like that, but for that I think it's just enough to do the description. You could set a timer if you wanted, because some of them will take ages, so it's just to let them know you've only got 30 seconds, or 30 minutes, sorry. You might only want to give them 1 minute, and then they can do that task. And then you just want to put it in where you've got it. Another thing that you can do, which I was using for my classes a lot, is this open-ended question option. So it's basically just somewhere where you can give them information and they can just give you a one-word answer. I think that this is quite good if you're giving them any tasks out the booklet. So what I was doing was adding media. So it could be a picture, it could be a video, but I was adding PDFs to it, so I can show you just as an example. I don't have the booklet, but if you were using first year, that's the booklet there. Yeah, so it's not the right topic, but if you were wanting to put a booklet, then what I was doing was opening it in Word and then saving it as a PDF, so that I've got, so there's like the health booklet, I've saved that as a PDF, and then you're just going to want to drag it in. Or you can do that with any Word document where you, why is that not working? You could, if it's only one page of the booklet that you want, then you just have to go to Save As and then save it as a PDF. And then if you were to go into the booklet and you knew what questions that you wanted to do, you could just go down. So it's task 1 on page 6, blah 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 blah. And then you can just say complete task 1 on page 6, enter your answers on Nearpod. Once they click that, it'll just open up the PDF for them, so it's not like they need to keep like flicking back and forward. They could then like use that, they could have it on separate pages. My class found it really easy. If it was an open-ended question and it was just something simple like, what do you notice about this map, or do you notice any patterns, then you could maybe enable an audio recording, and it means that the kids, instead of typing it, they could just say it. So I'll enable it for that, and we'll just save. There are obviously lots of other things that you can do that I'm not going to have time to go through with you. I don't want to like waste a lot of your time. The quiz is good, so like it's just a bit like Kahoot basically. But I was using the quiz for a lot of things that were in the PowerPoint already, questions that were in the PowerPoint already, and I was just adapting it. Another good thing that I've been using for all of my classes is at the end I've been doing a poll where I've just been putting in how do you feel about your learning? Have you met your success criteria? And then I've been putting the success criteria in there, and then maybe just putting actually saved, because I couldn't find it, but I've just been going to one of these wee kind of colour vector things, and then asking them to do a poll. So green, yellow, and red. And then you might want to have your wee poll at the end. I think that's all. Obviously, if you fancy it, you can muck about with it. I've used matching pairs. I've not used the memory test. I think that's maybe just like it flips over and then it disappears. I've not used fill in the blanks, but that would be really good to differentiate. This time to climb is an activity. It's a bit like a quiz, but it's quite babyish. It's like where they all pick a wee icon, and then like Kahoot, there's a scoreboard, and it's the first to kind of race up the hill. But I found that actually the animation of it was a bit babyish for any class probably above first year. I think it's probably a bit babyish for the first year as well. This Flipgrid option is something that I'm going to use on Thursday with my first years, but Flipgrid's another platform where they can record audio, video responses. So I'm asking them to like, what 3 facts have you learnt about Brazil, and they record a video of themselves and submit it that way, and then they can see each other's. I think that's pretty much everything. You can put up a website and things like that. So what I'm just going to show you next is what this looks like to a pupil, because that was probably one of the trickiest things for me, was getting my head around what they see when you're presenting it. So I'll come back to you in a wee minute. Okay, so I've just got like another browser open on the right hand side to show you what it looks like from a pupil's perspective. So if you want to share your lesson with the class, so that's the one that we did, then you've got the option to do a live participation, which if you were on a live team call, that's the one that you would want to do. You'd get their information real time, or a student paste code where, for example, after I've done the live participation, I do a student paste one and copy the code, and then I put it on show my homework so that they can do that later. But you go to live participation and the code pops up. Just share that with them. I've been doing it on a PowerPoint at the beginning of the Teams call so that they can get logged in really quickly. And I've had no issues with anyone getting logged into Nearpod. The only issue I've had is that sometimes they can't watch the videos, so I just give them the YouTube link or any other link, and then they put that in. You close out of that, and then it's going to ask them for their name. So join the lesson, and you'll notice that now at the bottom of my screen you can see that I'm logged in now. So to make sure that everyone's logged in, I just look at how many kids are in my Teams call, and then just check it with the student list. They usually get logged in really quickly, and that that saves, so that's another way of getting attendance. So you can download reports at the end of your Nearpod, and it doesn't lose that information if you cancel out of it. So I've always got the attendance lists that are there. Make sure that they put their actual name, because you're going to want to have you're going to look at the answer, so you want to know who's given what answer. So that's the first slide just looks exactly the same. If you move through, I think we have our collaboration board. So this pops up, it says, this slide is a collaborate board. Would you like to approve student comments before they're posted? I just say no, because if it's something inappropriate, then you can kick them out, and the kids can just write in everything that they want. They can also post pictures if they wanted to write something like, I don't know, rainfall. It's not really appropriate for this task that we've set them. And then they can post pictures as well. And then they can like each other's posts. Oh. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. Maybe it's because I'm trying to like my own posts, but we've been able to do that fine, and I can go on and like them, and then I'll talk about it, because they can still hear me on Teams. I'll be like, oh John, you said this, blah blah blah. So it gets like a really good discussion going, and then it will pop up. That's what they see. Oh, actually, that's why it wouldn't work. So that's the pupil view over here. So yep, you can like each other's, and that's what it'll look like to them. So then if we flick through, then you've just got your normal lesson. You've got your normal lesson, and now you've got your video. So eyes up front, the video will play on the teacher's device. Come back here when it's time for an activity. So you could play it from your device, but like I said, I go to student play, and I just tell them, look, you've got 9 minutes, off you go. And that way they just play the video.
Trekking through the Amazon rainforest.
And it'll come to, they actually, so that's good to know that you can't skip through that. So what I'll do is I'll pause it and I'll come back to you. What that looks from when it comes up on mine.
The under canopy tends to be between 10.
So it's just coming up for the question. So this is what the kids see. It'll ask them the question. They can't go through. I mean, they could just do like ... if they don't know the answer, but they've got to give an answer. So they might know from the video that it said 4. Once they submit that, they can continue playing, and you get their answer in real time. This also lets you know how many of the pupils are actually are doing it, so you know when to move on to the next slide. You can look at the pupil participation. It's at 100% because they've all done it. But it's a good way for when they're watching the video, I'll check their answers. It means I don't need to do it at the end. And then if there's, sometimes I'll ask them like open-ended questions, and then you can talk about it. You can get a bit of a discussion going in that sense. I'm just going to skip through just so that I'm not taking up loads of your time. So this is the kind of match-up activity that we set up. So this is what the pupil sees over here. It says match up the forest layer with the correct information. So you can see the students, you can see their progress. And if I did forest floor, if I clicked that one and I got it wrong, then it should come up on my view that I've had so many tries. I don't know why it's not coming up. Once I get it right, if you had more, obviously it would be a wee bit harder, but the teacher can then see that Lorna, she got 2 out of 2, but it took her 3 goes to actually get that right. So that's good. I was using that for my higher for some like key terms and definitions. So you might want to just flick through until we get to our next task. So there's your VR. So like I said, it took me ages to work this out. I was actually sitting moving it around and talking to the kids about what I could see, and it wasn't until Hayley came in and sat in my class that she said, we can't see you moving that around, you know. So no one had told me about it. So you just want to maybe give them some time to look around and like prompt them to some things that they should be looking for. but there's kind of lots of things that you could do with that. Okay, that's our wee draw activity. So it says it's reminding them that they only have 1 minute, so remember we set a timer for that. Draw a plant from the rainforest and label it with adaptations, so really easy for them. They might want to just do a leaf, etc. And not only can they draw, but they can put text in, so if they wanted to label things, then they can just quickly label them. They might want to do. And then they can just submit it, and then I can see it coming through as they're submitted it. And then what I did with my class was they'd done Corey's, and then I shared my screen with the Teams call, and I actually showed them each other's pictures, which is quite funny. So yeah, that's a really good activity. And notice up there how it says add activity. That's when I did that, I just had 10 minutes at the end, and I just quickly went in to draw it, and it's where you can just, if you've got extra time, randomly add like wee activities, true or false, open-ended questions, etc. So it's really good to know. This is just all your normal slides. That's what the open-ended question will look like for the kids. So whether you're putting a video, whether you're putting an image, whether you're putting audio, you can ask them anything. You can attach anything you want that's going to be a prompt for them for that question. They just click it, like I said, and it's going to open it up. If it's an image and they click it, it's just going to make it bigger, and then they can click out of it. Once they submit their answer, then I can see that. I can see who's submitted the answer, I can see it, and then I can also keep track of pupil participation, and then I know that I'm okay to move on. And then at the end, like I said, we've been doing this wee poll just for me to feel like if they've met their success criteria. No one's did red so far, but I've had a kind of mix between green and yellows. They submit it, and that's it done. So I'll just say to the kids, right, that's you can log out, and then they'll just close their browser, and that's them. Like I said, you can get an attendance list from this, but you can also get all your information saved. So you would want to go to reports, and then what that does is it just sends it to my email. So if I click OK, it sent it to my email address, the school email address, but it's also available in here. I think that's everything. Obviously I would just try it out and muck about with it. It's really easy, the fact that you can just use all our PowerPoint, so you don't even have to, if you don't want to make that many adaptations, then you don't have to. It's just about adding in some like wee fun activities, and like I said, the kids have like all had no issues, technical issues getting signed in. They've all been really good, so I hope that helps. If you want to ask me anything, just do it. Okay.